everybody. Welcome back to another episode of The Hard Truth. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best of the best. Hey, don't forget we have a public live tonight at 8:45 p.m. I will definitely see you there. Now, today I want to talk to you because we know that the DNA from the Idaho 4 case has been moving around and we've been talking about the significance of it. Well, actually, the knife sheath has also been moving around, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. So grab that coffee, a nice cup of tea, as we begin our story.
Police found the sheath of a K-bar knife underneath one of the victims, Maddie Mogan, but to our knowledge, a murder weapon has not been found.
The knife sheath has moved from Maddie Morgan's right side to up under Maddie, between Maddie and the comforter. And the reason for this, I believe, is the PCA states that the officer later noticed the sheath lying next to Maddie's right side view from the door. So that means that when he saw the sheath, Maddie was still lying in the bed. And so, if that's the case, when they first stepped into the scene, no matter how much later was, the crime scene photos should show that sheath on Maddie's right side. And since I don't believe they have that digital evidence, no body cam footage, and no crime scene pictures, they didn't think that far ahead that they might even have to produce this. And so now they have to go back and change it and say, well, it was stuck up under Maddie. You couldn't view it at all, until she was moved, which of course contradicts the fact that in the PCA it states that it was viewed on Maddie's right side, indicating that she was still in the bed. I didn't want to believe that, law enforcement would actually plant the sheath, but I knew that it was possible. Listen to a little bit of this clip from a video that I published on July 22nd of this year, 2023. Another thing that concerns me is that the prosecution also could pull out the murder weapon card. They can claim that they all of a sudden found a murder weapon and it has Brian Kohlberger's DNA. I think that if they get desperate enough, they would do it. And somebody might say, now that's far-fetched. Well, if you ask me, the sheath was far-fetched. They claim they found the sheath, so why won't they claim that they found the knife? If law enforcement planted the knife sheath and they were looking for a K-bar knife and a knife sheath within the first week of the investigation, that implies that they knew right away who was responsible for the crime, because there wasn't enough time that had passed for them to, come to the conclusion that they couldn't actually find the killer or killers, you know, or that they would have the authority to make any arrests. And so the big question is, who was this cloaking for? Who would law enforcement cloak for, just off the bat like that? And so I came up with a little list, and I want to see what you think about this one. In my opinion, these are the most likely scenarios for law enforcement to cloak or to cover up a crime. And the first one is to protect other law enforcement employees. Okay, and in this scenario, we could have had law enforcement actually steal the stash out of 1122 King Road, or it may be the snuff film scenario where they planned and carried this out. 2 or 3 officers or people that are associated with law enforcement don't even live in Moscow. Okay, but either way, they would definitely cover up for their own, for the sake of not being lynched by the public, and also just to protect the good name of the agency. All right, organized crime. If it was ordered, an ordered hit for whatever reasons, somebody was disrespected or stolen from, and organized crime ordered to hit, there's nothing that law enforcement can do, at least not immediately. It takes years to investigate, organized crime. The higher up it is, the harder it is to prosecute. So that would be a reason. Number three, any number of University of Idaho students, particularly but not exclusively frat or sorority members. It could have been students at university that are not a part of a frat or a sorority, but most likely because the victims were associated with Greek life, I would say that the school, the alumni are powerful enough to cloak for a crime committed by their sorority or fraternity members. The fourth reason would be Brent Kopaka. Okay, he was a veteran, again, to protect the good name of the U.S. military, protect the good name of uh, Pullman, Washington, WSU, and to just keep people from crying out about how people with PTSD need to have help available and more social services. They don't want one of those movements to break out. And so it would be best for the public not to know if Brent Kopaka did it. And maybe that was a reason for it. All right. And fifth, a satanic ritualistic group. Now, this could be some employees of one of the universities or both. This could be a group that stems from the law enforcement agencies. It can stem from among the students. They could be, involved in something that requires sacrifices and ritualistic worship. I mean, the sky's the limit with this one because anybody in the group, in this suspect pool, could have been a part of one of these groups. And again, these groups are secretive and very low key, so conservative. It's not like they're in the newspaper or well known to where, an investigation would be quickly and outright. All right, so what do you think about these ones? I think I'm going to make a survey to give choices as to if the chief was hypothetically, okay, planted by law enforcement, who would law enforcement be cloaking for? All right, and so we're going to see what you think about this one and then take a survey.